The Good Green Home Show is back with Rich and Shawna, and today we have a special guest. We have Jim Gocal from Alsop Nursery Pet Centers.
All right. Welcome, Jim. And you brought some guests along with.
I did. What we have here is it's a little glowfish tank, and in there's 4 of the colors of the glow Danios that we carry.
Danios.
And the really little ones that are hiding out in there are actually a
in the back.
different type of Danio. They're just a little small, so we want.
They're neon colored. They're bright.
But
Yeah.
They're actually genetically engineered to look that way.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
Very neat. So you've got this fish tank. This is a pretty cool setup. Tell us about who would buy a fish tank like this and why.
Most people buy their fish tanks based on, like, most of the time it's a 10-gallon because of the space you have. If you have a little bit more space, you can get into bigger tanks like a 55, a 75, 120.
It's a big tank.
Yeah, this might be a better starter tank. I have girls at home and they've had smaller tanks that have worked really well.
There is quite a few smaller tanks that are out on the market now that I've seen. There's a lot of anywhere from 1 gallon to up to usually right about 5 is the end where they're stopping. There's everybody seems to have 2 or 3 small ones. This one is actually 1.8.
Okay.
The smallest one this comes in is a 1 gallon, and then the biggest I think is the 10.
Now, you have some beautiful fish in here, but, I could just get a plain old ordinary goldfish, right? I mean, throw something in there. And is it heated?
No.
Okay.
The smaller tanks, being that there's not as much water in there,
So you could have a
room temperature's fine.
beta or a goldfish, something that doesn't require the heat then.
Yeah, I mean, when you get into bigger tanks, you have more surface area, so there's more chance of a temperature fluctuation. So you want to have a heater in there just so it drop from 77 to 72, and you'll shock fish.
So Jim is the fish expert there, and I used to have this 200-gallon fish tank in my office, and Jim used to come up and maintain it. And then we moved it down to the sales floor as a display tank. And I know that Jim has a passion for fish because he would come in and he would tell me all this stuff. You were just going way over my head with all the things about the fish, but I knew you knew what you were talking about because my fish were really healthy.
Good.
The
good.
water was always clean and clear. The tank was always like pristine, like you went to the aquarium.
Well, that's excellent because I'm known as the fish killer in my house.
I always get the algae to go
I kill
crazy.
them all.
I used
I
to
really
have
do.
this tank at my house, and the algae would go nuts. And I had a hard time, but then Jim gave me some advice.
Well, let's ask that question. How about giving just a couple tips on how a person at home might start with a brand new fish tank if they've never done it before?
The first thing you want to do is figure out how much space you have and then where you're putting it. Because for each tank, if you have a 10-gallon fish tank, when everything's said and done, water, gravel, everything, you're looking at about 100 pounds.
Okay.
Every fish tank, if you have a 20-gallon, 200 pounds. So what you want to do is figure out how much space you've got, and then once you know what you've got, come in and talk to us, and we'll get an idea of what size tank will fit where you want it, and then we'll get you your fish tank set up, and then everything else we're going to need depending on if either you know what fish you want. If you're not sure, you can look and pick something out like these guys.
Jim, why would somebody want a fish tank? Are there health benefits? Is there any specific reason other than, hey, I think it's cool?
They're actually a stress reliever. Believe it or not, I've been talking to Cedar Lake Fire Department because they're putting one in. So I've been talking with them about their fish tank to get everything set up right so we can get their fish put in.
And so
So I need to get a
fish
tank back in my office then. That's why I've been so stressed
Back
since
in
we
your
took it out of
office.
there.
We'll
We
put
could.
a tank back in your office, I promise.
Now, so you have the fish tank, you know where you're going to put it. Now it's time to fill it with stuff. Usually you have rocks on the bottom, right?
What you do is you take your gravel, when you open the bag, rinse it out really good. Okay. There's always a lot of dust that builds up on it. Rinse it out really good and then lay it out flat on the bottom of your tank.
Okay.
And you're going to fill it up with water. Usually I fill it up about halfway, 2/3 of the way. And then I'll put my decorations in.
But it's important to rinse everything before you put it in, correct?
Rinse it all. If there's anything on it, you want to get it off. So we rinse everything off, put it in the tank, and then I'll fill it up the rest of the way. I'll set my heaters in there if there's a heater. Don't plug it in, just set it in there so it can match the temperatures. If you plug it in too quick, it'll crack. And then you want to put water in your filter, turn your filter on, make sure everything looks right. And then when everything looks right, depending on the size of the tank, you give it a couple days for it to do its thing.
And then it's time to get the fish.
And you just take a water sample out, bring it in. Most places will test it for you right there. And if there's a change that needs to be made, we need to change your pH or something, we can change it.
Oh.
Jim, what is all this stuff here?
All that stuff is stuff for your fish tank.
Stress coat. Why do I need this?
This was the stuff that helped keep your fish happy when I messed around in their tank, when I cleaned it.
Oh.
What this is, it's a tap water conditioner, but at the same time, when fish stress out, they have a slime coat, and it breaks down a little bit when they stress. So what this does is it'll regulate your tap water pH.
The slime coat protects the fish from
diseases and stuff like that. When they stress out, it breaks down. It's like when we stress out, we get sick. When they stress out, their slime coat breaks
It's
down.
kind of like their immune system in a way.
Yeah. So what it does is it helps rebuild that nice little slime coat on it.
Now, when you're selecting a fish, before we even get the fish in the tank, let's say I know I'm going to have a goldfish because they're the easiest, as far as I know, to take care of. Yeah. So I get a goldfish and I bring it home. Do I just plop it in the water? How do I go about getting it into the water?
What you're going to do is you're going to take your bag. You're going to unfurl, take the rubber bands off, roll the sides down, take it, set it in there, let it float for usually about 15 minutes. So
okay, the bag. So you don't put the fish in
No,
first.
what you're going to do is you're going to float it for about 15 minutes. That way your temperatures are the same.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your net your fish out of the bag, put your fish in the tank. The water in the bag goes down the drain.
Excellent, excellent. So there you have it, the first few steps. We have building the tank, making sure the filter works. We put the rock and the decorations in the bottom, and then we add the fish. Then we have to feed them. How do we do that?
What you're going to do is there's a couple different foods you can use. You can use stuff like Tetracolor. You can use, and then there's stuff like this. This actually says beta food, but it's actually bloodworms.
Bloodworms.
Yeah. So
scary.
With my tanks at my house and the tank at work, all the fish get flakes. They get their flakes in the mornings, and then in the afternoon when I come through, usually like the big display tank, since they're cichlids, I'll give them some rosies or something that's going to get them to move around a little bit.
Hey, that's the food chain.
That's the food chain. Or like my fish, where I have frozen cubes of fish food I use to help with.
So it depends on your particular fish, what you're going to feed them. But do you just feed them once a day, but you said sometimes you'll add a little extra in the afternoon then?
That's like a little treat.
Gotcha. And it's just a pinch, right? I think that's how I kill my fish. I think I'm overfeeding them more often than not.
Jim Gocal, resident fish tank expert at Alsip Nursery, and you're also a small animal expert, and you know a lot about that stuff. We're going to have you on another time to talk about small animals.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming.
On. Yeah. Jinx, Shawna. Hey, the Good Green Home Show will be right back after messages from our sponsors.
Have you been disappointed with your lawn, even though you spread fertilizer year after year? If so, then you're not alone. That's because most people are unaware that feeding the lawn is only one of two key factors in getting beautiful results. The second is so obvious, but gets overlooked because it's out of sight, out of mind. The soil. Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan, unlike traditional fertilizers on the market, feeds both the lawn and the soil. Your soil is filled with nutrients, but many of these nutrients are never absorbed by the grass because your soil biology and chemistry hasn't been activated. This includes nutrients from your lawn fertilizer, too. Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan corrects the problem with two organic soil-reviving fertilizers: Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil, and Magical. Spreading Jonathan Green's Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil feeds your soil biology, activating its microscopic ecosystem. This activated microbial activity breaks down trapped nutrients, so they're completely absorbed by the grass roots. Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil also creates natural gaps in your soil, allowing air and water to penetrate deeper so roots can grow further. Applying Jonathan Green's Magical feeds your soil chemistry, making it properly balanced. A well-balanced soil enables grass roots to absorb much more lawn fertilizer. This higher absorption rate makes your fertilizer more effective and reduces the risk of waste and runoff while helping keep your lawn and our environment green. Love Your Lawn, Love Your Soil, and Magical are fully compatible with any lawn fertilizer or annual lawn program. We recommend using them with a wide range of Jonathan Green fertilizers designed to feed your lawn with superior results. Feed your lawn and your soil with Jonathan Green's new American Lawn Plan. And finally, get a beautiful lawn you can feel good about.
Alsip Home and Nursery's trained staff of certified horticulturists and organic gardening gurus are the local experts for promoting sustainable, healthy living throughout the community. Our green team can turn even the most inexperienced gardener's thumb green. Alsip Home and Nursery features Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana's largest selection of plants and organic gardening supplies. Look no further than Alsip Home and Nursery's Green Team.